Quest to Succeed, Chapter 17. After the Indochina War, Nehru's health deteriorated and he died within 18 months of the Chintzes' aggression. The other changes also took place. General K.S. Thimaiya resigned his post and was replaced by General Jadunath Chaudhry, J.N. Chaudhry. One of Jay's colleagues and friend commented that with the appointment of General Chaudhry and Defense Minister Y.B. Chavan, the Chinese stopped fighting and withdrew from some of the Indian territory. He saw some kind of similarity in the word sea. He commented that Ram killed Ravan, the king of Lanka, and Krishna killed Kans, the king of Mathura. With Chaudhry and Chavan on the helm, the Chinese stopped their encroachment, though they did not totally withdraw from the areas occupied in the short war of October-November 1962. With the defeat of India in 1962, there was great uproar in the Indian Parliament. The defense minister was asked to resign, which he did, but Jay asked a question to himself and others: could one person be held responsible for the national debacle? Of course, as an in charge of the Department of Defense, the minister had the responsibility for the implementation and success of the departmental policies. The national security, however, was the responsibility of the whole cabinet, the parliament, and the country. The finance minister did not allocate enough resources to the defense department. No new equipment was purchased from abroad, and arms production in the country started only after 1957. The Research and Development R&D, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited AHL, were also established in mid-1950s. After the defeat in 1962, the Indian government appealed to public to donate money, gold, and other valuables for the National Security Fund. Finances were raised in schools and colleges, offices, shops, and other organizations. Jay's school made a collection. Teaching staff donated 1 week's salary. Students brought money according to their affordability. His school organized a function which was attended by the Chief Minister of the state and the Defense Minister of India. The headmaster handed a check for the value of collection to the Indian Defense Minister. It was very much appreciated. India's defeat at the hands of the Chinese was mocked by Zulfikar Ali Bhutto of Pakistan. He said that India was finished and she had no future. He started to make preparation to attack India on her western borders to grab the Indian state of Jammu and Kashmir. He persuaded the Pakistani President Ayub Khan to take on India. He expressed the view that India was a weak nation at that time. Indeed, Pakistan attacked India's western borders, but her army was defeated within 10 days. India controlled a large part of that country and surrounded the city of Lahore in West Punjab. The army was waiting for orders to enter the city. The people of Lahore were fed up with the army rule in Pakistan. They were waiting with garlands to welcome the Indian army as liberators. The foreign intervention and India's own policy of non-occupation of any country, however, stopped the soldiers from entering Lahore. The soldiers stayed within the Indian borders and returned to their barracks. The Soviet Union organized a meeting between India and Pakistan at Tashkent in Central Asia. India returned all the Pakistani territory that her army had occupied during the short war. The Indian Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri died in sleep in Tashkent. The reason for his death remained a mystery. However, in 1967, India and China fought again in Chola and Nathula Pass at the height of 16,000 feet near Sikkim. It was argued that aggression was an aggression and it got to be vacated. India won this war. It restored a parity between the two Asian countries and revived India's pride. The two countries lived peacefully for over 50 years. Certain skirmishes started again in 2020 to 2021. A great deal of dialogue and meetings had taken place between the two armies and their Foreign Office officials. Jay's villagers had joined the army 3 generations up, and perhaps before then. He always liked talking to elderly people. He did not necessarily ask them questions. They themselves revealed to him and told stories of the times gone by. He recalled when an elderly neighbor conceded that when he was in the army, he was given a letter to post. There was no post office in the nearby vicinity. He therefore ran 18 miles to post the letter. He did not stop at any place. He was a little tired at the end, but now, after so many years remembering that episode, He laughed at his action. Of course, he returned to his army base the same day. He traveled 36 miles on foot in one day. There was another gentleman whom Jay called Grand Uncle, though he was not related to him. This gentleman retired from the army even before Jay was born. He was, however, provided a pension for his army service. It was 4 rupees, equal to $1 a month in those days. His sons used to take him in a bullock cart to the city to collect his pension. He did not necessarily need this money, but it was his right. He felt proud that he was in the Indian Army and was receiving a pension in his old age. Over 2 million Indian soldiers participated in the Second World War. They were in Singapore, Burma, now Myanmar, and Malaya, Malaysia in the east, and France, Italy, Egypt, and other European countries in the west. They fought in many war theaters. One soldier from his village was in the United Kingdom, defending the London airport. 200,000 Indian soldiers lost their lives between 1939 and 1945. They were of all ranks. From Jay's village, however, there were only sergeants, lieutenants, and soldiers. In the 1950s and 1960s, many young men from his village joined the army. Due to domestic reasons, some returned to the village after a few years' service. Others made careers in the forces. One young man whose family lived near Jay's granddad's shop joined the Indian Navy. He progressed through the ranks and retired as a naval officer. He then joined the Merchant Navy to earn money. He was paid more in the Merchant Navy than in the Indian Navy. On full retirement, he did not return to the village for permanent residence, but built a big house in the nearby city and started to live there with his children and grandchildren. In the later part of the 20th century, a man reached the rank of lieutenant general. When he retired, he decided to live in the city because of the amenities. He, however, continued to visit the village where he had ancestral agricultural land. He employed personnel to work on his farms. He also kept a supervisor to look after the farms and the workers. The supervisor reported to him regularly.